Angeline, what the hell was that? You could have killed someone with that stunt. How many times do I have to tell you to be more careful up there?
Excuse me, who do you think you are? How dare you talk to your mother-in-law like that? I didn't drop that flower pot on purpose, you know. It was an accident, pure and simple. My hand slipped while I was moving the plot and it fell. You should know that old people like me have trouble holding heavy things. Maybe you should blame my shaky hands instead of yelling at me.
Don't give me that crap, Angeline. You've been doing this over and over again. How many pots have you dropped so far? How many more are you going to drop? Do you want me to come up there and take them away from you?
Ugh, I'm so sorry that I keep losing them. Maybe it's not my fault. Don't think it's your fault for having such a low balcony rail? It makes it so easy for the pots to fall off. I've warned you before that it's very dangerous to have such a short rail. Every time I leave over to put a pot down or pick one up, they slip a little, and sometimes I can't hold on to them anymore and they just fall.
Don't try to act innocent, Angeline. I can understand if it was a one-time thing, but you've been dropping pots every time I'm down here. If you really have a problem, then find a way to fix it before you touch those pots again. But I know you're doing it on purpose, so I doubt you'll ever stop coming out on that balcony when I'm down here.
Stop accusing me of something I'm not doing, Maggie. I'm just trying to help those poor flowers that you have here. They would be dead by now if it wasn't for me. Your house would look awful with a bunch of dead plants on your balcony. So stop being so rude to me and be thankful that I'm even helping out.
You call that helping, Angeline? You've dropped half of them already. Tell me, Angeline, why do you only drop those pots when I'm down here? Why do you always come out on the balcony when I'm here?
And I'm telling you, there's no reason for that. It's just a coincidence. Nothing more. Stop playing the victim here when no one is trying to hurt you.
Playing the victim? What if one of those pots hit me on the head? Do you know what that would do to me? It wouldn't just hurt me, it would kill me. And I wouldn't be happy if it was because of you.
Well, that's a big if, isn't it? There's no point in arguing about something that hasn't happened. None of the pots have hit you yet. So can we drop this? I promise we can talk about it if one ever does hit you.
I can't believe this. You don't even seem to be worried about what you're doing. If you're just going to continue dropping pots on me, then I don't think I can live with you anymore.
Well, if that's how you feel, then go right ahead and leave this house. I mean, it wouldn't hurt me any, considering you are a pretty useless wife. So if you were going to leave this house right now, it would go unnoticed, even by my son.
I knew it. I knew you were doing all of this as a way of getting me to leave the house. I don't mind you picking on me every now and again, but if you're going to start to try to harm me as a way of showing that you don't like me, that's where I'm drawing the line. Well, I don't want to be the one to leave this house, and I won't. I'll be bringing all of this up with Harry really soon.
Go right ahead and let him know about this. I haven't been dropping those pots on purpose, so he won't think anything of me.
What is wrong with you? Seriously, Angeline?
Wow! Another flower pot almost hit you. This is ridiculous. That old witch is losing her mind and should be locked up.
It's not her mind, Harry. It's her malice. She's doing it on purpose. Every time I'm under the balcony. This was the third time, and it never happens when I'm not here. Can't you say something to her? I've been lucky so far, but one of these days, one of those pots is going to smash my skull and I'll be dead.
Well, what do you want me to do? She swears she's not doing it on purpose, so I can't stop her, can I? And you know she's always been clumsy. It's just part of who she is as my mother.
Well, even if it's an accident, we still have to deal with the fact that she's dropping pot after pot from the balcony. It's dangerous and it's wasting money. This is a serious problem, Harry.
Well, if you want me to solve it, let's fix the guardrail up there. It's too low. But you know, That will cost us a lot more money than just letting her drop a few cheap pots.
Then how about we just ban your mom from the balcony? It's too risky to let her keep going out there without supervision.
But my mom loves her flowers and plants. It's the only thing that keeps her happy. If we take that away from her, she'll have nothing left. Ever since Dad died, she's been alone and bored. She spends all her time on the balcony.
If she loves her plants so much, let's move them to the garden. Why does she have to be on the balcony? The only reason she goes up there is to drop those damn pots on my head.
Come on. My mom told me. She said that the plants on the balcony get more sunlight and the flowers are more colorful.
It doesn't matter if they're on the balcony or in the garden. The sunlight is the same. She's lying to you. You always take your mother's side, don't you?
Well, I'm not siding with her on everything. It's just that this time, I really don't think she's trying to drop pots on you on purpose. She's a sweet woman, and she's been good to me since I was a baby.
Whatever. I'm wasting my breath talking to you about how your mom wants me dead. Go ahead and kiss up to her, because that's all you're good at.
Hold on. You're being childish now.
Not this again, Angeline. Can you please watch what you're doing up there?
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was an accident. I'm really trying to be careful with this huge pot.
Don't lie to me. You waited for me to come back from work, and then you dropped that pot near my head. You knew I would be right under the balcony at this time. You did it on purpose.
Stop accusing me of things I didn't do. It's just a coincidence that my hands slip and the pot falls to the ground below the balcony. I'm not trying to hurt you, I swear. But wow, that was close, wasn't it? Just a little bit more to the left and I would have got you.
Enough of your nonsense.
Oh, come on, it was just a mistake. I didn't mean to drop that pot next to you. So please stop acting like I'm out to get you. I'm sick of you whining about everything.
If you hit me next time, I swear to God.
What? What are you going to do if I hit you next time? Are you threatening me? Maybe I should sue you for that, huh?
Go ahead and try.
What's wrong with you? Maggie, I was just kidding. Can't you take a joke? Maybe you need a pot to the head to loosen you up a bit.
Are you admitting that you've been trying to hit me with those pots?
I never said that. I don't want to hit you or anything. But if you're so afraid of me, why don't you just leave? I'd be happy to see you go. But of course, if you leave my son, you'll have to say goodbye to his money and live free on your own.
Fine, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Staying here with you is not worth risking my health or my life. I can't wait to be free of you and your pots.
Then get out of here, Maggie.
Hey, Maggie. Where the hell are you right now? There's been an accident here, right now. My mom has been taken away in an ambulance.
What happened to her?
It looks as though she fell from the balcony and hurt herself really badly. I'm not sure all the details yet of how this could have happened to her, but she fell off the balcony while holding a flower pot in one of her hands. And one of her neighbors heard the sound of her falling and called 911 right away.
Is that so?
Is that so? Are you not worried right now about the state that my mom is in? That old bag ended up losing a lot of blood in that fall and is unconscious right now. At this point, I wouldn't put this accident past being her last.
Well, that was bound to happen, right? I've heard that recently the balcony has been pretty easy to slip on. And that might be the reason why she fell.
What the hell are you laughing about? This can't be. Don't tell me.
Don't tell you what, Harry. Are you starting to think that maybe I was the one to push her off that balcony?
Well, look.
Why would I ever do that to your mom, Harry? Especially since she is your mom after all. But I will say this. It kind of feels good knowing that she fell off that balcony for once. Thank goodness it happened to her before she could do anything to harm me.
Why the hell are you saying all of that? I knew it. You were the one who pushed her off the balcony and put her in this horrible state. It couldn't have been anyone else. And you're even laughing about all this now?
It's been weeks and weeks of her dropping pots on or near my head on purpose. Only when I'm underneath the balcony. And when I told you that she was in fact trying to hurt me. You never batted an eye. Yet when she falls off the balcony and has to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance, you're pretty quick to turn around and blame me, right? Such a great husband you are.
No, wait.
Harry, do we even know where you stand right now? I'll just give you a hint where you stand right now. You could have your job taken away from you at any minute.
You could say all you want about that, but there's no way, right? We promised that we'd never hold anything against one another within the company. And that's why I was okay taking that job from you. I had other companies that I was looking forward to interviewing for, but you told me that I should come and join yours.
Huh? You had a bunch of other interviews to look forward to, did you? That's strange, because what I remember is you couldn't find anyone to interview you for around 6 months. And that's why I offered you a job within my company. So what is this about other companies? And by the way, the one that took you and your mother in while you were jobless was no one else but me, right?
And I feel really bad for having to make you take us both in.
Therefore, you should be very thankful that I was willing to let you join my company. It shouldn't be too hasty to blame me for something I didn't do. The fact that you even have time to be your mom's ally all the time is disgusting.
You were never this strict about things before. I think that you've changed from the woman I once loved and married.
Well, when someone has to go through multiple life-threatening events, like having heavy pots fall on their head, they tend to change a little. Now, from now on, I'd like you to understand your position a bit better and listen to what I say to you, instead of what your mother wants you to believe.
But that's... You and I are husband and wife, right? We are supposed to be equal in our relationship, right? What you're saying is...
If things are supposed to be as equal as you say they should be, then maybe you should have listened to me when I said your mom was dropping those pots on purpose. But of course, that won't ever make any sense to you since you're such a mama's boy. Well, if you don't want to go back to being unemployed and with a mother who will be disappointed in you after losing your job, then listen to what I say, okay? If you end up losing your job, I'm no longer going to be nice to you and hide everything from your mom. Do you understand?
I understand.
Angeline, how are you feeling now that it's been a couple days since your accident? I hear that you really did a number on both of your legs this time around. I'm sure they still hurt quite a bit, don't they?
You! What is up with that attitude of yours?
You're asking me what's up with it? Well, I'm just really happy is all, seeing that someone like you has finally suffered from what? You were trying to serve me as well. It makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
You have no right saying something like that to someone who just had to be taken to the hospital. You knew about how there was a very high chance I never woke up again after what had happened to me, right?
Of course, I know about that, and that's why I sympathize with you right now. I'm sure had one of those flower pots you tried dropping on me actually hit my head, I'd have been in the same boat as you, having a chance of never waking up ever again.
You were blowing things way too out of proportions there. You never even got hit in the head anyway.
That's right. I had some pretty good luck with me, and never had to take a pot to my head. Angeline, you were really trying hard to hit me in the head with those pots, right?
I've told you plenty of times now that all of that was not on purpose. Recently, I've just been having a lot of trouble holding on to those pots, and this past week the rain had been non-stop, making everything on the balcony slippery. There are even times when you're not under the balcony where I will drop one of those pots on accident. So stop trying to make up loads of lies like that about me.
Of course, for a while there I was thinking about how I might have been overreacting, thinking that maybe I was just trying to be the victim. And that's why, to make sure I wasn't just making things up in my own head, I set up some security cameras overlooking the balcony to see what all was really going on.
Huh?
I've seen every time you've taken one of those pots in your hands recently and waited for me to pass under you to chuck them down at me.
That might have just been the sun's lights reflecting off the camera lens.
And of course, with it just being video of you doing that to me, someone might say the excuse that the sunlight might have distorted the image, or that the lens was too dirty and you couldn't see the picture clearly. So there really is no point to me having those videos at all, right? However, because of that, I made sure to have the sound recorded as well. Even if the ground is always under the balcony, you can still hear all the sounds of the pots crashing down below.
You didn't just record the video, but you had the audio recorded from those events as well. Why would you go as far as to record the sound like that? I would never do anything.
Are you sure? I missed again. That short line of words coming out of your mouth is very easy to pick up from the recordings.
That was just me saying that it was a good thing that those missed. That's all. I have not been trying to hit you in the head with those pots, I swear.
Is that so? Well, that's interesting to hear, especially when after watching and listening to those recordings over and over showed me the opposite. Well, no matter, because it does not mean anything to me. What you think you were doing or saying is, I'm still going to use both the video and audio recordings as evidence when I take you to court and sue you.
What? You'd sue me? But all of that isn't going to be good enough evidence for you if you take it to court. I told you a billion times already that I didn't do any of that on purpose.
Also, I took a strangely interesting video a few days ago. Do you want to see it? It's from 3 days ago on that night.
I don't want to see it at all. I haven't done anything at all. So why would I care to see your videos?
You haven't done anything at all, huh? You seem to really like to say that about all of this, Angeline. Well, I don't believe one word of that. And do you know why? Because in this video, I have you down on all fours, rubbing lotion and lubricant all over the balcony, as though you were trying to make it all slippery.
What?
I'm assuming you were doing all of that in order to get me to slip and fall off the balcony, correct? But I guess that following day, you totally forgot about what you'd done out there. And so, as you went out to the balcony to start tending to your plants and wait for me to come out and drop a pot on me, you slipped and fell over the edge. That's at least how I remember those videos going after watching them plenty of times. But does that string of events sound right to you?
I never meant for any of that, though. I'm serious.
I don't need to hear that from you anymore. I've already seen all I needed and heard everything I've needed to as well. And it's very clear to me that you were indeed trying to hurt me. Now, good luck with trying to get your legs back to the way they were before the fall.
What is all of this? You.
Angeline, I see you're finally out of the hospital. Well, I'm on my way to pick you up, okay?
Hey, leave me alone, okay? I already asked my son to come and get me, so just back off and let him do it.
Sorry, old lady. Harry is busy with work right now, and I won't let him waste his time on you. And since it's the job I transferred him to for a while, he won't be back anytime soon to see any of us.
What do you mean? You transferred him to another job? Where the hell is my son?
I can't tell you that. It's a secret between my company and some others. And since he works for me, I won't ever tell you where he is, because it might jeopardize everything.
What? He works for you?
You didn't know that? Well, I guess you couldn't have known, since I've been keeping it from you ever since he got a job. Or should I say, ever since I got him a job that would take him. He didn't want you to be ashamed of him for being unemployed or working for me. So we both hid it from you.
Is that so? He should have just told me he was working for your company. Then things would have been very different. How pathetic.
But hiding it from you only made him more attached to you and more blind to your faults. So I decided to break our promise and tell you the truth, so that you could finally face the reality.
So, you're saying you betrayed your husband? My son?
That's right.
What the hell? You're sick, you know that?
Sick? How rude! I was just starting to enjoy being your caretaker and everything while you're in that wheelchair. And you'll be in that wheelchair for 6 months, right? Oh, I'm so excited to have you under my thumb.
What about Harry? He'll be back soon, right?
Well, from what I heard, his transfer will last at least 6 months. So you won't see him until you're out of the wheelchair. But he said he'd do anything to make you happy. And that's part of it.
Are you keeping me prisoner?
Prisoner? How dramatic. You should be grateful for this situation. Harry is just being a good son. By working far from home to please you and me, I'll have so much fun with you. Just the two of us.
What the hell? What is this? No way. I'm not going to live with you again. I'd rather be alone in this world than be with you.
Wait, you can't just run away from me. I have a lot of evidence that you tried to hurt me in many ways. So if you run from me, well...
You're exaggerating everything. I never really wanted to hurt you. Not that much, anyway.
Oh, really? Well, that's for the jury to decide, if it comes to that, Angeline. And I'm sure they won't see it in the same way as you. They'll see how dangerous you are. So if you try to leave my house, we'll have a blast in court.
You're serious? Is this your way of getting revenge on me or something?
Revenge? What are you talking about now, Angeline? Why would I ever want to get revenge on you? I've already told you that I'm doing all of this as a way to make sure you and I have some fun alone time together. Just the two of us. You can just forget about your son for a while now, and come join me as we both live under the same roof together, enjoying every moment of it together. That's right. The two of us can go out onto the balcony this time and really enjoy all of that gardening. You've always been telling Harry and I you love so much. How does that sound, Angeline?
I'm sorry. Maggie, I swear to God that I'll act differently now after all of this. I'm so sorry.
It's a little too late now for you to come to me with those words. And it's not like you need to apologize to me anyway, because I've already forgiven you. Now just you and I can look forward to living under one roof together.
I don't want to live with you alone. I want Harry there too.
Stop getting so worked up over this. Nothing about what we're going to do together is going to be scary, I promise. And you know how good I am with promises now, right? Oh, that's right. You told me before that taking a pot to the head might get me to settle down a bit, right? Well, how about when we get home, I drop a pot on your head? After that, I went to the hospital and got my mother-in-law in her wheelchair. I told her I forgave her for everything, and I did. Then we went shopping and had some fun before going home. We did that every day, just the two of us, having a blast. Angeline was so attached to her son, and she always told me how much she missed him. But Harry won't be home for a long time, so I told her to get over him and enjoy life with me. And I think it'll be more than a year before he comes back, since I made sure he had to work for that other company. But that's fine, because I'll have plenty of time to play with his mom and make her happy with me. She tried to escape from me a few times, but I stopped her easily. I just locked the doors from the outside and made sure she couldn't get out. Now the only way she can leave is by jumping off the balcony. Tonight we're going to have a little party, where we can remember the time she tried to hurt me with those pots or the slippery balcony. And we'll start by watching the videos I took, so we can relive the memories.